This is first time work for the GSS1. In your scheme of work, the first thing you'll be having is estimation and approximation. This is an opportunity for you, for those who maybe as a result of COVID, staying at home, or one other thing that may happen, that you're away from the class. This is an opportunity to still go on and still learn on the go. You can play it all over again, get to understand it. So in the first thing you have estimation and approximation. The objective of this course, or this very topic of GSS1 class, is that you'll be having round off of numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000. The next thing you would know at the end of the we'll be having about 3 different slots of classes. Round off numbers to the given number of decimal and places, in addition to significant figures. Then you have solve problems that are in relations to this, quantitative reasoning, and also develop interest in approximating things in everyday activities. So let's start with this. Now, understanding rounding off numbers. Let's go straight to an example. Round 1234 to the nearest 10. This is one of the first things you should have in mind. You should have an idea on 100 tens and units. This 100 tens and units, you should have an idea of it. So this TH stands for 10,000s, 100 tens, and as well as unit. Now note this: when you are approximating, like this one which says we should approximate to the nearest tens, your eyes where you are approximating should be on the 10. Now the change of this one, very 10, the approximation that will happen here, is dependent on the next number by the side. This very number here is called the decider. It's called what? The decider. It's this one that decides either this will increase or not. Now, before this can have an effect on the next number, this very decider must be 5 or above 5. Must be 5 or above 5. That is only when it will have an effect in adding a number to this. Now, checking this question, the decider, which is 4, is not up to 5, so therefore it's going to round down. You are going to round it up down. Downwards means 0, but if it is 5 and above, you will round up. So in this, the final solution to this question simply means the nearest tens is 1, 2, 3, 0. The 4 is no longer 4 here, it's now 0. Why? It's not up to 5, so you round it down, and when you round down, it becomes 0. Now let's go to number 2 question. Number 2 question says round 1834 to the nearest 100. Now again, coming back to what I said earlier, 100 tens and units. The 1 is under 1000, the 8 is 100, the T is what's it called, the 10, and then you have the 4, which is a unit. Now this is what we want to round up. Now the number that is by the side, which is the decider, this is where we are rounding up. The decider is not up to 5. So what do? You round it down. And when you round down, it turns 0. So that is why I have it here written. 3 is less than 5, so round down. So when you round down, it turns 0. So finally, this is the solution. 1834 to the nearest 100 becomes 1800. Why? The 3 that is here before is not up to 5, so you need to round down. When you round down, it becomes 0. So this is how to round it. Round it down. So let's go to another one, the big one. You have these questions, as you can see, 13,512. We have this one says 2,354,265. So to the nearest 1,000. So we want to start from the first one. You see now, we are rounding up. See, you have represented them in 100 tens and units. Immediately it crosses the 1,000. The next one is tens of thousands. This T stands for tens, and this TH stands for thousands. So therefore, we are rounding up to the nearest 1,000. So your mind should be here because it is 1,000. How many numbers make up thousands? You have 3 numbers before the original number makes 1,000. So here is the what you want to round off. Now, if you are rounding off this, you check the decider. The decider is 5. Beautiful. The decider is what? 5. So this 5 will have an effect on this. Why? Because the decider is up to 5. So you're going to move 1 from this to this 3. This place will no longer be 3, it will now be 4. That is what we have regard as rounding off. So the rest of them will be round down, So you move 1 to this, it will no longer be 3, it will now be 1, 4, and the rest 0. So you see now, I've labeled it 1,000 digits, and here is the decider. So finally, the answer is rounding off to the nearest thousands. You now have the final as 14,000 to the nearest 1,000. You see that now. The 3 here is no longer 3, it is now 4. Why? Because the decider is 5. So if we come to the final one, which is 1,000,000, your mind should be here because we are rounding up to the nearest thousands. You see, TH stands for thousands. These ones are thousands also, but they are above. This one is tens of thousands. This one is hundreds of thousands. So, but we are rounding up to thousands. We are not rounding up to tens of thousands. We are not rounding up to hundreds of thousands. But rather, we are rounding up to thousands. So, mine is you. You check the back. The next number, which is the decider, is not up to 5. So, you just have to round it downwards. So you see, decider is 2 is less than 5. So you round down. So finally, you now have 2,354,000. You see, it still remains 4. Why? Because the decider is not up to 5. So that is how to go about it to the nearest thousands. So I will urge you to try, go to your textbooks, any of the textbooks that are available to you, to try this out, and subscribe, and click your like buttons. Thank you very much.